Welcome to Crafty Polyglot, the monthly podcast where language meets creativity. Each month, we sit down with leading voices and innovators in language education, from renowned educators to pioneers shaping the future of multilingual learning. Together, we explore the art, the science, and the passion behind mastering languages, uncovering the strategies and stories that inspire learners and educators around the globe. Whether you're a teacher, a student, or simply a language enthusiast, Crafty Polyglot is your gateway to fresh insights, practical tips, and meaningful conversations that celebrate the vibrant world of languages. Join us on this journey, because in every language, there's a new world to discover.
Hello, I am Dr. Felicia EYBL, host of the Crafty Polyglot podcast series. Today, I am welcoming Janice Von Trapp, who is the mother and aunt of children enrolled in the Japanese Immersion program. Janice, welcome to the Crafty Polyglot.
Thanks for having me.
So you currently have children in the program at Sale in Japanese Immersion and a daughter in high school this year. What motivated you to enroll them in the language immersion program, and how did you choose Japanese as the language?
Well, I guess this goes back a ways. I think partly how I was raised. My family traveled. My father inspired us to travel internationally. In my 20s, I went and lived in China for 3 years. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so then you might ask, why Japanese? I think, I actually didn't start with the program. My sister did, but it was a great start. And it was exactly what I wanted for my children too. When I lived in China, it was tough to not speak the language. I learned a little bit, and I just wanted that for my children, that they could have that. So finding out that Charlotte had a program like this was tremendous. And why Japanese? It was default. But I saw my sister's children are older than mine. So her two older started before we were ready, and they were already in the Japanese program. So I was showing up to Japanese cultural night. I was going to the classroom for some of the in-class events, and it just was such an amazing program. And I just thought, let's do that too. And then our kids can communicate with each other. They'll share these same cultural exchanges with each other. So that's why Japanese.
So what were your goals and expectations when you chose the program for your children?
Truly, my goal is for them to be fluent in Japanese, so that they could go live in another country and work in another country if they chose to, or work with a business in this country in another language.
In what ways have you observed the benefits of bilingualism or multilingualism in your children's daily lives?
Well, we have poured everything into this program. We have au pairs that live with us from Japan, and I actually work for an au pair agency, so I work with international youth, 20-somethings, and we've just immersed our family in it. So I see it everywhere, though. I see that they have an appreciation for people from all over the world. They communicate with people, adults, better than I think a lot of other children. They just aren't even shy about using their language or speaking in public. A lot of ways that I see it.
And how has that, having a native speaker in the home, how has that impacted them or improved their language skills?
Tremendously. And it actually all started in kindergarten, because we hosted one of the academic volunteers that came from Japan. She stayed with us for a month. And in that month, and it was when our oldest now, she's 14 now, was in kindergarten, her Japanese went from kind of understanding to speaking. And that 1 month, I just saw this massive change. And I thought, well, what if we did this full time? It's a privilege to be able to do this full time. But I'm so grateful for it, because our children, my daughter Reagan was just awarded a Japanese award at school, and I keep getting congratulations for it. So I don't know that I realized how impactful it was, but she was just recognized for how well she speaks and uses her language on a regular basis.
That is great.
Yeah.
Great. So you can see the impact academically and educationally for them.
Yes, absolutely. I do get people that tell me, why do your children speak such good Japanese? From Japanese people. So it's really cool to hear it.
So your children have also had opportunities to travel to Japan and other countries, because your family does travel a lot. And they've interacted with native speakers. How has this built their confidence? You talked about how it built Reagan's language development, but how has it built their confidence in speaking the language?
Well, I'll just talk about Riley. Riley's My now high school student who is studying Japanese in high school, in 8th grade, she went to Japan. In 8th grade, we had to make a decision. Were we going to continue with the program in high school at her current high school, or were we going to go to our local high school? And she was torn. She really didn't know what she wanted to do. She was leaning towards going to the local high school because they had a swim team that was local. And I wasn't mad at that idea of being able to drive closer and all of those things
Right.
too, and not constantly be on the road. And then she went to Japan with the school for 2 weeks. And she came back with this new love for this language and the culture. And she begs me on a regular basis to take her back to Japan. She's like, for my next birthday, can I go to Japan? I'm like, oh boy. But it just changed. It changed her perspective of everything. And she just wanted to continue at that point. That hasn't changed since.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. It's great that she continues to love the language. That's very important. And what grade is Reagan in?
Reagan's in 6th grade.
Okay. All right. And she also is continuing to enjoy.
She loves it. I think
Yes.
she might love it the most. She sits at home and she watches shows in Japanese. I think she'd be my one that might go live in Japan at some day.
So how has it impacted how the rest of your family sees the world?
I think it's definitely had a big impact on that. I think we all have embraced grandparents, aunts, other cousins, the cultures, and understanding that this is just one of many cultures out there that we can embrace. And so we have opened our doors up to people from around the world, and not just to share our culture with them, but to embrace their cultures as well. And when we travel, we tend to go off the beaten path and try to find the more cultural immersion experiences when we're there. So I think we just continue to grow with it and learn from it and love from it. It's been a really, really positive part of our lives.
And how has it impacted the cultural and social emotional growth of your children? Have you seen that?
Definitely. I think, I feel like I'm just repeating the same things a
Okay.
little bit there, because I just think they do have a broader vision of our world as a whole. My children have had passports since they were babies. We travel and we embrace it. And I actually challenged them. We were on a cruise and we found a staff member that was from Japan and said, all right, our goal is to find this person and you're going to go introduce yourselves and have a conversation with them. And they sure did. And it was cool. And they really loved that.
Great, great. So what encouraging words or advice would you have for other parents who have their children in a second language program that is vastly different from the language they speak at home?
Yeah, it's funny because I think I do have this conversation with neighbors that are curious about joining the program. And I tend to get messages from people saying, hey, can you tell us about this? And I rave about it. I do. The biggest thing I think I say is don't be afraid. They're going to come home with homework that you have no idea what it means. They're going to all of a sudden be speaking about you to their siblings and you have no idea what they're saying. And instead of just being afraid of that, just embrace it and love it. And I'm awed by it, really. I find it so amazing. And I really talk to them about the, I guess really mostly the advancements their children will have in language and development and culture. A lot of things they're learning that you can't learn in a traditional education.
Absolutely.
And actually, my youngest is just started. He's in kindergarten this year. And it's really cool to go through it from the start now with a whole new perspective. And almost like an ambassador of the class, because I do get a lot of parents calling me and talking to me and asking me questions, and I'm so happy to do it.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
That is very nice. So do you have any advice for parents on how they can help their children at home?
Sure. I mean, if you have the ability to bring an au pair and do it, it's been tremendous for us in a lot of ways, but you don't have to have that. There's definitely a lot of online resources. I remember when our youngest was there, we would do hiragana cards on the TV and she loved it. She just loved that. Because it was a game, but it was still learning at the same time. You could put shows in another language and put the English subtitles on so you can still enjoy it. Take trips, travel, just embrace it, make friends with other classmates and their parents because they're going through the same things as you.
Right, exactly.
And grab onto that one that's already been through the program because they can definitely help guide you through it as well.
Great, great. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Crafty Polyglot. We especially appreciate your insights because not only are your children learning in Japanese, but Japanese brings with it the problem of different characters. And so it's a logopedic language, the locographic language does not look like our English. So
Yes,
that brings another challenge.
it
So
does.
thank you so much and for supporting not only Japanese, but language immersion. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.